Hi, I want to answer a client question. This is from someone who is having a very hard time in the job she has, but it's a well-paying job. It's a great job. It's a sought-after job, but she's miserable, and it's very intense. Her health is suffering, and more important, she's not spending the time with her family that she values spending with family. And, she's terrified considering dropping this amazing job and actually getting something more low-key, fewer hours, would bring in less money, would bring a whole lot less stress. And the question is, how do I have the right to do this? Look at all the people suffering in the world. Look at all the people who work as hard as I do and don't even get, decent pay. And am I not being ungrateful if I drop this? And, who am I to try to create something better for myself? There's a fear of selfishness here that's entirely misguided. So let's talk about this. I believe it's a royal distraction when we point to other people who have it horribly and we use that as a reason to not change our lives. Part of what's needed in the world is for people to step out and do something different. If too many people on the planet are still living lives that are not worthwhile lives, how about if whoever sees a way to do something else does so? And instead of keeping themselves down to somehow benefit others, which, by the way, it doesn't succeed in doing, they could model the way or show the way for others, and also simply just choose into happiness, choose into doing, what actually works for them. If we even just push comparison out of the way completely, how about if you just take note of, this job doesn't work for me, this job is causing me suffering, it's causing me a lack of thriving and well-being, it's disconnecting me from family. Those are all good reasons enough to do something different. So, this topic of comparing to others who have it harder is very common, and people really sidetrack themselves with this issue. I had a client one day who was agonizing over, this lovely coffee she has, and how dare she have this ritual of using these lovely coffee beans and making coffee for herself. Seriously, folks, if that's a problem for you, don't drink coffee. And in fact, you might just cut out all superfluous things, get anything that tastes good out of your diet. Don't drink coffee, never buy a bottle of wine. You don't spend money on the arts, they're superfluous. And gosh, what else? Don't create any beauty in your home. You probably should have an ugly home because there are people on the planet who have ugly homes. Now, I'm saying all this because I just want you to see that you're probably not willing to do all that. So the few things that you tell yourself, oh, I can't have it better there, are just the remnants of an old mentality that you've actually probably overcome with certain things that you allow yourself to have. So allow more and show us the way. Create a life that's meaningful. And if you're worried about people in Africa, for example, give money to Africa. Join the Peace Corps. Create a project that actually makes a difference. Give money to Finca. Do anything you see to do to actually address some problem instead of just holding it up as something that means you don't get to have a good life. So I just want to close with Marianne Williamson, who, her whole quote I won't read. It starts with, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. And, Google that sentence if you want to hear the whole quote. But she says, your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you, or, let me add, won't suffer. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of the universe that is within us. So as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. And let me just finish with something from Abraham, who says you can't get sick enough to help people suffering in their health, and you can't get poor enough to support people who don't have much money, and you can't get miserable enough to address the unhappiness in the world. So move into the best version of yourself, and from there, it's likely you can actually put more good into the world than you can do by holding yourself back and failing to step forward in response to your own inner directives about what you don't want in your life, or what doesn't work in your life.